Hey everyone, what's going on? Greg here again from Team Blast. So if you're looking for more phone call leads for your business, I really encourage you to focus on Apple Business Connect. So this is one of the accounts that I have there at Locksmith. Over the past 12 months, they've had 407 phone calls, which if you average that out, that's 34 phone calls each month. So to put some context in, whenever I onboard a new local SEO client, I always ask for their Apple Business Connect profile. Most of the time, people will, grant me access, and I'll see something like January, February, March, April, May, where we're actually either decreasing our phone calls or we're not getting that many. And then when I run my Local Falcon scans, it tells me we're not ranking that well, which is why we're not getting many phone calls. Other times too, people won't know their Apple Business Connect username and password. And then in the more rare cases, there are some local businesses that are not even on Apple Maps, which tells me there's a huge opportunity right here to get more leads each month if we can get that verified. So one of the first things I focus on to increase phone calls for my clients is category search. So let's pretend TM Blast is a locksmith. If you search for TM Blast on Apple Maps, that's the name of my business. That's what's going to trigger that. But the category search would be like locksmith, locksmith near me, commercial locksmith, residential locksmith, car key replacement. These are category searches now that will trigger my account. Increasing that number will then lead to more impressions. And then those impressions turn into taps on the profile, and then they lead to more phone calls as well. So, category search, that's what you want to increase. And the way that you can increase your category searches is use Local Falcon and then run heat map scans for category search terms. So, for my client, I'm looking at locksmith, and I can see back in May, we were under 30% share of local voice. Then I got really aggressive with their account because I'm looking for ways to diversify away from Google. Now we're at an 82% share of local voice when it comes to Apple Map rankings, which is why we're getting more phone call leads each month consistently now for their business, which is turning into more customers for them. This is what the heat map looks like tracking on Apple Maps. We are the top competitor in this area. We have an 82% share and a 6 mile radius 11 by 11 grid. Now, when it comes to share of local voice on Apple Maps, it's a little bit different than Google, so I need to explain this. Local Falcon uses DuckDuckGo on the left-hand side. You can see they have 1, 2, and 3 as a map pack. That's the share of local voice. That's a percentage of time. So if I go over here, that these dots, so if you're 1, 2, or 3, you're going to be on page 1 of DuckDuckGo, specifically where someone is searching for. We all know that DuckDuckGo is a very small search engine, so I'm not advocating to say that doing all this work is going to allow you to be on DuckDuckGo and it's going to increase phone calls. It doesn't really work like that. It's more about on the right-hand side. This is Apple Map Search. Now I'm using my desktop. I believe it's really hard to, prove this, but I've seen this now with so many other accounts that I have that improving the share of local voice results in more impressions, more phone calls, more website clicks, more photo taps, more bookings on Apple Maps. And I believe it's because you're ranking up higher within Apple Map Search specifically, especially above the fold, which is giving you more of those leads. So it doesn't necessarily mean DuckDuckGo is driving in all those leads. It's more about you're appearing up higher, especially above the fold now on Apple Map Search. That's how I kind of explain this to my clients. So where do Apple Map results appear? Just real quick, on the left-hand side, Apple Maps web search. If you're using your PC or your Mac, you search on Apple Maps, you can get some results. You can click on call. Next, the middle part, that's on your Apple Maps iPhone. That's on your iPhone and you're using the Apple Maps app. You search for a locksmith, locksmith near me. You can then call the business. And then on the right-hand side is DuckDuckGo. This is probably like 1 or 2% at most when it comes to the number of leads you're getting. So it's primarily the Apple Maps app and the Apple Maps web results. Tips to rank better on Apple Maps. I'll go over this really quick. So number 1, use Local Falcon, run heat map scans, change the radius, change the grid size to figure out your baseline metric for share of local voice, because you need to improve that number to get more leads. Next, you need to report any competitors on Apple Maps. So when you run Local Falcon scans, they'll actually show you every competitor in the area. And then what I've noticed for all my clients that I have, there's like various reasons why there might be spam. There could be a virtual office, there could be a PO box, there could be keyword stuff in a name, there could be inaccurate hours, there could be a host of other issues too. So you need to go through that, and if there's any issues, you need to report that to Apple because they're probably taking away share of local voice from your account. Next, post regular photos. I try to do this on a weekly basis for all my clients. I believe photos are an engagement factor, helps with rankings. Next, Yelp reviews are huge. They do not bring in Google reviews. So if you're looking to rank better on Apple, you have to get on Yelp and you have to encourage people to leave Yelp reviews. And then, of course, you want to respond to them as well. That will help with your Apple Map rankings. So if you're looking for more phone calls each month, encourage Yelp reviews. It's really going to make a huge difference. I can't stress this enough. Next, create showcases. And good to know section showcases are things like call now. And a good to know is something like, hey, we accept Apple Pay. People will search for that as a filter on Apple Maps search. So if you accept that, make sure you check that off. Otherwise, you won't be seen. Next, update your description. You can include some keywords, some cities, some towns. The description is just a great way, even maybe to potentially increase the click-through rate and to create someone to then maybe call your business. And then finally, keep running local Falcon scans, because ultimately what you want to see here is this. You want to see your share of local voice trend to keep increasing, because when that percentage does increase, it then leads to more category searches each month, which then results in more phone calls for your business, which is more leads as well. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and as always, have a good rest of your day.